Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream, and I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, I'm Kimberly Brock, and for the last 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. And so now I'm on a mission to help other women just like you do the exact same thing. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, this is episode 32, and I'm your host, Kimberly Brock. I am so glad that you are here today. Real quick before we get started, if you are a new listener, then welcome. This is the place to get tips and guidance and tools for building a business and starting one right away so you can start making money as soon as possible. If you've been listening a while, then welcome back. And I would ask that if you have been listening and find value from this podcast, if you would scroll down right now and give a star rating and even a written review, it helps me so much. And it helps Apple and the podcast players to share it with other people like us who are building businesses we love. Thank you all so much for listening. Enjoy. Well, hello. I am so glad that you are here today. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt that your business has been slowed down because you are trying to make things perfect before you present them to the world? Have you ever realized that sometimes you're actually preventing yourself from making more money because you're too scared to offer it without it being perfect first? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. So many people suffer from this. I've seen people who haven't even started their business yet because they're too scared of it not being perfect or the exact perfect timing before they launch it. I've seen new business owners take forever to get their products or services out there into the world and online because they feel they are not perfect yet. And I have to say, I have suffered this too. And I just want you to stop today and realize that you seeking perfection and what you are presenting to the world is actually hurting your business. And it's slowing you down, it's slowing your momentum, and it's preventing you from taking more action and getting things done. I have suffered from this too, because for a while I've been putting together some different workshops that I am about to launch, and I had been so nervous that they were not perfect that it has for real slowed me down. And here's the funny part. I am not a perfectionist. And what I'm finding is that a lot of people that realize that things are slowing them down, they are not necessarily a perfectionist, right? We would expect perfectionists to be perfectionists in this situation, but a lot of times now it's bringing in people like me who don't consider themselves a perfectionist, and it's slowing us down and hurting us. And I just wanted to stop you today and think it through. What is stalling you in your business? Does it have to do with lack of knowledge or fear, or what is it? Or is it that you are making a product or a service and you don't feel like it's up to par yet? Well, I wanted you to think about something. Well, I heard this phrase the other day and it totally struck me because I'd never heard it before. And you may have, maybe I'm the last to know. But it said that perfection is an illusion. Because who is to say what is perfect? Who is judging that? Is it you or is it the end user? I can guarantee no end user, so it's either the recipient of your product or the recipient of your service, or maybe it's even a digital product, is never going to say, I don't think, this is absolutely 100% flawless and perfect. And if you are waiting to achieve that, you are trying to reach an unattainable goal. You are sacrificing movement forward, money, your reputation, by not simply putting your stuff out there. And I just want you to think about this, is that number one, you cannot ever achieve perfection. Flat out, straight up, you cannot achieve it. So whatever you're going for is a never-ending battle. Number two, it can actually lead to health problems. Have you ever thought about that? Like your mental health or even your physical health? Like you trying to be a perfectionist is actually hurting you. Number three, it is actually annoying to people around you if you're trying to be a perfectionist. Have you ever thought about that? That your actions of trying to make things perfect could be bothering those who love you the most. Have you ever thought about that? Now, I could go into each of these, but I'm not going to. I just want to high level here, make you think and just stop and realize that it could also, number four, be making you feel unhappy and unsatisfied with yourself. So just stop for a minute. Let's say you put perfection aside today, right now. Whatever you're working on in your business, maybe it's a service offering, maybe it's a product you're putting together, maybe it's just your branding or your logo or anything. Who knows what it is? It's a video. Just think for a minute, forget being perfect. If you could just get it out there today, if I said, you've got to get this done today, real quick off the top of your head, what would you need to do to get it done today? If I said it doesn't need to be perfect, in fact, it can be absolutely terrible. It can be terrible and it's okay, but I want it done today and you have to do it here in the next hour or two. What would you do? Think it through real quick. What would you need to do? And I want you to realize that that's how close you are to getting this done. If you are stalling, that's how close you are. But you've been seeking perfection and it's slowing you down. And this is what I want you to realize too. That if you've got a product or an offer or program and it's not perfect yet, you're wasting time by not getting it out there because you're wasting time on the feedback that you could have already been gaining from what actual users say and feel about your product or service. Does that make sense? So while you're over here trying to make it perfect, it may not even be what is needed in the end user or the customer or the client's eyes. You're not giving them a chance to tell you what the issue is, right? Let's say you're cooking a meal. Let's just say I'm cooking a dinner and I'm too scared to cook a dinner for my family because it's not going to be the most perfect dinner. But what if I said, okay, I'm just going to put this together. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. Maybe it's a lasagna, okay? And I'm going to make it. And I actually make something, but it's not perfect. Maybe it falls down on one side. Maybe it's not pretty. The sauce is coming out from the sides. But the family eats it and they say, you know, that was really good. It could have used more ricotta cheese, or it could have used a little more salt. It tasted a little bland. So then you go and you redo it and you make it again next week with more salt or more ricotta cheese, and they eat it and they go, yeah, that was really good. Look at the feedback that you got when you could have wasted hours and days sitting there going, but how do I make the perfect lasagna? And you look up a million recipes and you keep trying to do it perfect. Now your family didn't get the lasagna for dinner that they needed and you had to order takeout and you just wasted all that time. I know this is a silly example, But I just want you to think about it. By not getting your product or service out there immediately, you are wasting time not getting the feedback that you need to actually make it valuable to those you seek to serve. Okay? And I know somebody needed to hear this today because I've needed to hear it myself. And the funny thing is, I am not a perfectionist. I easily can go through my day and get so many things done. They don't have to be perfect because I know they don't need to be perfect. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a dentist. I'm not doing something that does require a very high level of precision, right? I can make my bed. It doesn't bother me if it's not perfect. I can clean the kitchen. It doesn't bother me because I know that this is not an do or die situation. I know it's more important for me to get the most of it I can cleaned up so we can all function in our house without being in a mess, right? So think about it for you. You're wasting time on things that don't need to be perfect right now. You need to get it out there so you can get the feedback you need to make it the most useful it can be. I hope you think about this. I wanted to leave you with 3 action steps today and to realize that by taking action, you're doing yourself a huge favor. And it will get closer to that perfect mode that you're looking for. It will actually help you if you start taking action, okay? So stop sitting there and not presenting it and not offering it to anyone because you're too scared that it is not in the most pristine condition that it needs to be. People don't care as much as you think they do. So I want you today to start taking action. If I was there in front of you telling you to get it done right now, what would you do? And that's what you need to start doing. Number 2, you need to check yourself for real. You are not perfect. You will never be perfect. And what you're making will never be perfect. What you're creating will never be perfect. What I'm saying on this podcast will never be perfect. What if every week I sat here for 2 hours trying to redo and redo and redo so I could make this thing perfect when really you didn't care? You were on a walk, you were driving, you were cleaning the house, you were doing something else, listening to this, and you had no clue what I later thought, man, I should have added in this or that. Or maybe you did, but you don't really care that it's not perfect. You just want the information, right? It's like the lasagna example. My kids don't really care that it's not perfect. They're starving and they need some food. Your customers and clients don't care if it's not perfect because they just need what you have to offer, right? So check yourself. Stop doing this. You're actually hurting yourself. And the third thing I want to leave you with is that remember that you are depriving people of something that you have, some unique gift, a strength, some knowledge, some experience. You are actually not being able to help people by you stalling. Did you ever think about that? That every day that you stall, somebody else is not being helped and they need your help. So again, taking action is going to help you better whatever you're working on. So don't worry, it is going to get better. But you just need to get it out there. Number 2, check yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and go, listen, you are not perfect and you are not the end all be all. You are not all that. You are a person that's trying to serve others because that's what your business is doing. It's serving others. And in turn, the money will come, right? But you're serving others. Get over yourself and get moving. The third thing is remember that every day that you are not offering your products or services because you're waiting on perfection, you are actually not helping someone that needs your help or your awesome product or your service. Okay? So to all you perfectionists out there and to all the people like me who are not perfectionists but are scared because we don't want our image ruined or we don't want people to think that we're not as smart as we are or we're just scared that it's not going to be liked, if you're seeking approval, stop and get moving today because I'm telling you, you will make more progress and make it way better by getting it out in the world. That's it. I hope you all have a great day. And by the way, if you have not joined my private Facebook group, I have an insiders group. It's for women starting and building businesses, doing what you love, something you are skilled at. If you need help and want community with other women, please join my group. There's a link below. You can get in and I am in there and there is some exciting things to come. So thank you all so much for listening. Start taking action. Don't be a perfectionist. Have a good day. Bye now. Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.